Hola chicos, today we're going to be talking about mandatos, more specifically negative commands. You just learned about affirmative to commands, now we're going to do negative to commands. Here we go. So forming mandatos is the word for command, negativos. First you are going to conjugate the verb in the yo form, and then you are going to drop the O. This is particularly important because there's going to be a lot of irregular go verbs, and you're going to need to know that root before you add your endings. For AR verbs, it's ES, and for IR/ER verbs, it's AS. So you add the opposite vowel, E, and then you add S. Now, I like to think of this as opposite day. So if I said don't eat, don't speak, don't sit down, etc., that is all going to be with these endings, and you just have to make sure that you remember the word no in front of it. Here are some examples for you. So for AR verbs, if I said don't speak, the whole verb no hablar, this is an AR verb, so you're going to add es, no hables. Pensar, no pienses. Remember, if it is a stem changer in present tense, it also has to be a stem changer in the command form. For IR/ER verbs, we've got no comer, no comas. So we've got an ER verb, we switch the vowel A and we add S. No perder, don't lose. This is an IE stem changer, no pierdas. And don't live, no vivas, with an AS because we've got an IR verb. So now a few more irregular things that we have going on. Verbs that end in car, gar, and zar. Okay, keep in mind that we are doing present tense verbs, but verbs that end in car, gar, zar, you have to think of this as the preterite yo form. So car is going to get chopped, and you're going to add kes, Q-U-E, and then you've got that S on the end. For gar verbs, it's no and then ges, G-U-E-S. And zar, ses. There are no accent marks on these, and these are for only the negative commands. In the affirmative, you do not do car, gar, zar endings. It's only the negative commands. So again, for AR, we've got an ES. For IR/ER, we have AS. And then a few more irregulars. We've got our car, gar, zars. For the negative only, you chop off car, you add kes. You chop off gar, you add ges. And you chop off zar, and you add ses. So some examples of what these look like. We've got no buscar, don't look for. You like my little eyeball there? No busques, B-U-S, then I chop off my car and I add Q-U-E-S. For jugar, this one is especially extra special because this U changes to a U-E as a stem changer, and it's a gar, so you have to add G-U-E-S. So that's like a double whammy. No juegues. And for this one, no cazar. Cazar means to hunt. My bullseye here. No cases. Don't hunt. Zar changes to a C-E-S. Notice that there's no accent mark, so that should make most of you very happy. This is my note for jugar. If it stem changes in the present tense and it is a car, gar, zar, you must do both, the stem change and the ending. All right? Here are my irregulars. This one right here with estes, I probably could have added dar as well, but that will be for another day. All right, so we learned the Jingle Bells song. Pon, ten, di, sal, ven, as, H-A-Z, se with an accent over the E, ve. And we've got our miscellaneous este or esta, right? Here, these are the yo forms. Now, when you put this into the negative, you put this into the yo form, and this is what I was talking about. It's so important because no longer is it just pon, but the yo form is pongo. You drop that O and you add AS because it's an ER verb. So once again, You have the yo form, you drop the O, you add the opposite vowel, an S. So this would be an AS, no pongas. No tener, tengo is your yo form, you drop the O, no tengas. No digas, no salgas, no vengas, no hagas. Here it is totally irregular. No seas, no vayas, and no estés. That's my accent. It wouldn't let me I was on my laptop when I was making this, so I couldn't figure out the code. But anyways, these are your irregulars, and if you will notice that these are all go verbs, so that should help you remember those. Also, the Jingle Bell song that we read or that we sang yesterday will also help you. As we go along here, what do you do with those pronouns? Well, yesterday with affirmatives, we learned that they are all attached to the end of the command. But with negatives, these reflexives and the indirect and direct object pronouns, they all go in front of the command. No accent marks when the pronoun comes before the command. So the very first pronoun you're going to have is the reflexive pronoun, and then you will have your direct and your indirect object pronoun. This screen looks a bit mess, but I think that it is great. This is just for review of what exactly is a direct object pronoun and what exactly is an indirect object pronoun. You should have learned this from Spanish 2, but if you didn't, here you go. These answer two questions, what or who after the verb. So I tried to keep this in the future tense because that's what we're learning. El amo espantará el espantapájaros. So my question here, first of all, the sentence says, the boss will scare the scarecrow. Who will the boss scare? The boss will scare the scarecrow. So when you take this out and you replace it with your direct object pronoun, you're going to take out the word, you're putting the direct object pronoun right here before the first conjugated verb. Okay? This is just straight up how to use a direct and indirect object pronoun. I'll get to these two charts of endings, or these two charts of pronouns in the next couple of slides. So for indirect object pronouns, they answer two questions, to whom or for whom something happens. You will notice the word para is for in Spanish, and the word a is to. Those are dead giveaways. Dead giveaways, okay? El vecino escondería el cuervo para el espantapájaros. In this story, the scarecrow comes alive, so I chose to give him human characteristics because in indirect object pronouns, those can only be used for people. So that's why, even though a scarecrow usually is a non-living creature, in this story it is living, so it made sense. So we are going to take out para el espantapájaros, and we are going to move it right before that first conjugated verb. Okay? All right, so once again, direct, what or who after the verb. Here's the verb. There's the DOP. Then for indirect, to whom or for whom something happens. All right, para or a is the keywords there. I will ask that you guys always and forever underline the DOPs one time and the IDOPs 2 times, okay? Here is my chart of endings for direct. It's not a chart of endings. I keep saying that because I've been doing endings all day. Okay, so for direct object pronouns, the pronoun is me for me, te for you, lo for masculine singular things. If you look down here, we've got cuaderno, el cuaderno, therefore it's lo. La mariposa would change to la. These both mean it. These both mean them, okay? La bicicleta would change to la for it. We could say el padre or el hombre. This would go for lo. El coche or el taxi, lo también. So if I had 2 butterflies right here, las mariposas, I would not use these. I would come over here and I would use las because it's feminine and plural. All right? My indirect object pronoun chart, we've got me, te, le. Note here, le can be both feminine and masculine. It is non-gender specific, which makes it really nice when you're talking about him or her. Nos, os, and les, for them. So, el hombre, le. La mujer, le. La maestra, le. La chica, le. If I said los estudiantes, les. All right? And remember, can only be used for people. Okay? Let's practice. All right, so the last three slides, were strictly for indirect and direct object pronoun practice, just setting up a simple sentence. But when we are looking at them with reflexive pronouns, and it is masculine, remember that we don't hook those on to the end like we do affirmative. It has to go in front. And because these are all informal commands, this say is going to go to a te in all forms, okay? So I've got no te laves, es, because this is an AR verb. No jugar los deportes, okay? Well, there's no te, there's no reflexive. I'm just saying don't play the sports, don't play them, okay? This is a U to UE stem changer, and it's also a GAR verb. So no, in my direct object pronouns, this is what that is, a direct object pronoun. It's masculine, and it's also plural, so that's where the los comes from. No los juegues. Don't play them. Them meaning the sports. No comerme la manzana. Don't eat the apple. This one, comer, you do it yourself. So therefore, sometimes it can be reflexive. We don't teach it that way necessarily, but this was just an example I wanted to bring up here. So no me, okay, here's my reflexive, me, no me. And then I have la manzana, which is the direct object pronoun. It's going to come before the verb comas. And I say comas because this is an ER verb and it is negative. So no me la comas. Don't eat it. For pedir, no pedirle el número. No se lo pidas. Let's break this down. No, because it's negative. Pidas, because this is an I stem changer. It's also an IR verb, so it's AS on the end. El número goes to lo, which is it. And now, if you look at this ley, in Spanish, that's what this little bubble says down here, and on the next screen it blows it up for you. But in Spanish, you cannot have le, lo together, because you sound like you're in the choir singing la 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 la. So what you do is you change that le to a se. So it becomes se lo. No se instead of le, lo pidas. Holy guacamole. This is large and in charge. You cannot have le lo together. Change the le to se, and then it becomes se lo. So this goes for se la. That's it. The other, you can have le los. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check on that one. Okay, pronouns and commands. First, okay, for pronouns, the first pronoun out of your sentence is going to be who it's being done for. So the first pronoun is who is it being done for. That's your indirect object pronoun, by the way. The second pronoun is going to be what it is. That's your direct. So indirect comes first, direct comes second, and really the first would be your reflexive if you needed to have a reflexive sentence. Okay, so let's practice. Pass it to me. We said earlier that to is an indicator for indirect object pronouns, and I told you to underline the IDOP's 2 lines. So pass it to me. It will be the money. Money is masculine and singular. Pásamelo. We learned yesterday that when you have This on the end, okay, when you put your pronouns on the end because it's feminine or it's affirmative, you count back. 1, 2, 3. That's where your accent should go. But what do you see here? How many pronouns do we have in this sentence? We have 1 pronoun, 2 pronouns. So yesterday we said if there's 2 pronouns hooked together, you count back 4 vowels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pásamelo, pásamelo. Pass it to me. Okay. Next, write it for me. Who is it being done for? Me. That's why this goes first, right here. And then it is lo. We always assume that it's masculine unless it tells you otherwise. So, escríbeme lo. Escríbemelo. Now, why is this an A and this is an E? Well, because there's no masculine or there's no negative words here. It doesn't say no. If this said no, we would have to choose AS for the ending. Me and lo would be in the front, just so you know. I hope that didn't confuse you. Okay, exceptions. Stop, drop, and roll. Boo. So not all commands with the pronoun have an accent. Remember, you have to have 3 or more vowels in order to have the accent. So an example like 10, lo, would not have an accent mark because 10 lo, that's only 2 syllables, and therefore not 3. You wouldn't have to do your accent marks. Hazles un café. Well, un is one of those words that prevents you from using this pronoun for that object. Con ella, the word con also prevents you from using this as an object. So, hazles un café. Make a coffee for them. I couldn't say hazleslo, meaning un café, unless this was el. Then I could. But un for 1 coffee, that stays the same. Siéntate con ella. Sit down with her. Well, con interrupts you from using this as a le, as a pronoun. So really it is siéntate, which I forgot my accent. 1, 2, 3 is where that should be. Con ella. So un and con, you cannot put these as direct object pronouns, okay? Please see my webpage for a practice sheet. You're going to underline all DOPs with 1 line and all IDOPs with 2 lines. I haven't yet put this up on my webpage. I'm hoping that today we just get through all of the notes because right now you are going to do formal commands, usted and ustedes. So put your seatbelt on, take a little breather, 30 seconds, and we're moving on. Thanks for watching, guys, and always, if you have questions, please, 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 let me know what they are. Make sure that you've highlighted your notes, that they look beautiful. I've taken a lot of time to make these notes look extra special, as I hope you take time for your notes. Thanks, guys.